before you decide what you do, find out whether you can do it. One thing is to go for a training on how to do something. Another thing is telling yourself the truth that you can actually do this.
Yeah. My name is God's Gift Chiduku, and we're right here at the True Tribe where we talk about the ups and downs in business, lifestyle, and entertainment. And with me here is an amazing personality. His name is Mr. Alex Ogbodo. He is a broadcast journalist, and he's called a solution journalist. He's an amazing presenter, and he's right here with me. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Alex Ogbodo.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. You look good. I like the way you're representing culture.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so how has your journey been so far as a broadcast journalist?
Well, it hasn't been smooth sailing, but one thing, it's something you do knowing that patience is a virtue. Nowadays, people want everything instantly.
Yes.
Quick.
Shortcuts.
But if you're going to be successful in life, you will have some stories to tell.
Yes.
I don't know who will come into a particular field and make it in 3 months, and everything about him is sorted in 3 months. You will need some time to understand the grounds, to understand exactly what you're called to do in that particular field. So you don't get in and make things worse for everyone by sending the wrong signal about the real value that people ought to gain before they can start flying. Because before an aircraft takes off, there are things that need to happen. The pilot will need to engage the engine, have it on, and then there will be that run on the runway.
Exactly.
Without that, the plane cannot just take off from the point where everyone steps into the plane. It must run as fast as it can until it gathers momentum and takes off.
Exactly.
Without that momentum, the airplane cannot beat gravity. So that's how it is in broadcasting. The longer you stay on it, the more experienced you become.
Exactly.
And the easier it will be for you to handle difficult situations. So I believe it applies to every other field.
Yes, every field, every area.
Sure, you just need experience to understand various aspects of what you're getting into. If you don't understand it, that'll be a problem.
Okay, so you said patience is a virtue and people must learn how to go through the process step by step and not just rush into things. And the more you stay, you gain more experience and then you gain momentum to take off.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's amazing. So what inspired you to start this journey as a journalist?
I always tell this story. When I was just a little boy, I was thinking I was just maybe 8 or 9 years old. I went to the Innate Stadium to watch a football match. Well, there was this stampede there and I fell.
Wow.
So, but I felt a strong hand lift me and put me inside the OB van of the then Anambra Broadcasting Service.
Okay.
So it was Rangers up against Ranchers Bees back then. So when they put me in the van, I was watching the match. Inside the OB van, I had about 3 or 4 screens where the commentator was seated, running commentary for the match I came to watch. So it was so fascinating. And the OB van was so cold, and I had to stay there beside the man who was running commentary. I sat quietly, listening to everything he was saying, the way he was running commentary. It was so fascinating, and it just kept ringing in my head.
Wow.
So at halftime, they had to let me go, and I went home to continue watching from my father's President black and white TV.
Yes.
So, but since then, I continued to hear that commentary in my head, and I started running commentaries at a very tender age. But I was running those commentaries interior monologue style. I started running the commentary for myself, by myself.
So you are talking to yourself?
Yeah, I would simulate a match situation. And I'm running commentary. And I'm both the visiting team and the opposing team. I'll be knocking about bottlecocks in the compound. I think at a point my mom said, I hope my son hasn't gone bonkers. Because I would just be whispering. It was my elder brother who said, that even when they score goals, I simulate the crowd cheering. So with time, I also got the opportunity to run real commentaries.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a very good sports commentator. I've been opportunity to run commentaries for Rangers football matches. So it's like a dream come true. The very first thing I did on radio was sports.
Wow.
So now there's a connection. So it's about an experience. Sometimes it will be an experience that will trigger the interest you have in something.
Yeah.
When I was going to school, I never told anybody I want to work in radio or TV station.
Okay.
It was something that happened along the line.
So
I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, yes.
In Nigeria.
Well, I don't know where, but I was just fascinated about rockets. But just seeing myself being in one of those rockets, watched Neil Armstrong, watched Yuri Gagarin land in the moon.
Yes.
I just wanted to be there, but then I probably didn't have all the statistics to move higher than what I had, so I had to switch to arts.
Arts, okay.
So, and then the literary part of me now took the advantage and grew in leaps and bounds. So here am I.
Wow,
here I am.
That is very inspiring. I can say that. Okay, so sir, we're in Nigeria. How has the journey been, in Nigeria as a journalist? Because I'm sure you've had challenges in your field.
Absolutely.
So can you throw more light on that?
Yeah. Well, you will decide the kind of journalist you will be. If you want to be the journalist that everyone loves, you can be that. If you want to be the journalist that does his job or her job the way it ought to be, you can be that. But then there are challenges will come, whether you decide to be the journalist everyone loves and the journalist that you're supposed to be.
Yes.
One will be, a lot of people in this profession have just a one-way mindset. They don't do any other thing except being a journalist.
Yes.
But then, the way the country is, you should have other skills.
Exactly.
You should be able to maybe anchor events, do media productions.
Yes.
There are many things I do on the side. I also have my own media production outfit, Gillette's Media. So all this need to be in place because if you don't have any other source of income, there will be a problem. You will struggle because there are things that will frustrate you along the line. Either maybe in your place of work, your bosses might not like the way certain things are going and they tell you, no, this can't happen. At a human level, you will not like it.
Yes.
But remember, the boss is not always right, but is always the boss. So that's something I always say to the younger ones. You have to learn to respect hierarchy wherever you go.
Exactly.
You don't have to like everything your boss does. But remember that he is the boss. And one day, you will be the boss. Sure. And you want people to respect you. And, like they say, what goes around comes around. So if you don't respect your elders, when you become an elder, just somehow karma will kick in.
Wow, that is amazing. So what goes around comes around.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to like your boss. You just have to follow instruction, respect hierarchy. Yes, well, that's amazing. Being a journalist, I'm sure you are like a top in your field, like you know what you're doing.
By the grace of God, yes.
Yes. So I wanted to ask a question. What are things you do that help you become better?
Okay. Some of the best things you will learn in the media work, you will teach yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Forget about all the trainings you go for.
Yes.
You will have to be the one to call yourself to a meeting and tell yourself that I want to be among the top 3 or top 5 or top 10, wherever it is you want, or that you want to be an authority. If something is about to happen and you haven't arrived, they can actually delay an occasion for you to come there. So I'll give you an instance. If when I joined broadcasting, something was always happening. I would lock myself in the room and I'm watching CNN day and night, and my mom would come into the room and say, CNN on his week. That is whether CNN actually rests.
Yes.
I told my mom, don't worry. When it is done, when that food is done, you will know. And then when it was done, I told her, Mom, it's done.
Yes.
And she knew it was done. Because if I've flown across the Atlantic to cover US midterm elections, I don't think I can call myself an ordinary journalist.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if you've been to America to cover their elections, moved around in 3 cities, monitoring the elections and reporting back real time, I don't think that's a mean feat. And if you find yourself everywhere you have been, you end up at management level.
Yes.
I've been everywhere I've worked. I ended up at management level.
Wow.
The first place I worked, I left that place as head of operations radio. The second place I was head of news and later head of presentation.
Wow.
The third place I worked, I was head of news. And then where I'm working now, IFA TV, I'm head of news and current affairs.
Yes.
And IFA TV is on DSTV, GoTV. You know the place.
Yes, I know the place.
So it's more global.
Yes,
it puts you out there. So if you don't know what you're doing, it will show.
Yes.
You cannot cut corners. If you're good, it will show.
Yes.
If you're not good, it will show. If you've done your homework, it will show.
Yes.
If you scratch the surface, it will show.
Yes.
So you must bend down. If you have an interview to do, find out who you're interviewing. Find out what he's been to, where he's been to, the things he's undertaken. It will help you to form questions. Because when you throw things at people that they are familiar with, there are many reactions that might crop up.
Yes.
Depending on whether that thing is negative or positive. Or in between.
Yes.
So, but if there's a perception that this person asking me a question knows nothing, first of all, about me, and secondly, about the subject of discussion, it becomes a problem. So the person will just finish this till let me go. But you need to constantly, while everyone is asleep, you need to be awake. In fact, I believe that's the best time to learn. At night.
Yes.
When other people are sleeping, stay awake and learn more things. Expand your horizon. This YouTube is full of things that can help you. You decide what you do there.
Exactly.
There are lots of lectures, do-it-yourself videos that on any field whatsoever. Yeah, so it's easier now. You can actually become a professional in something by just being intentional and deliberate about the things you expose yourself to. I always tell younger persons who tell me they want to be this, they want to be that. First of all, you should be able to put down on paper what you want to do. Many people will come around and say, Mr. Alex, I want to be a presenter, I want to do entertainment program. So you now ask the person a simple question. What is entertainment?
Yes.
So if there is a problem in defining what is it you want to do, you really need to do some homework. So ask the person, write it down, and then there's a problem. The moment you cannot pen down the idea you're nursing, it means you need to really work hard to get an idea off the ground.
Exactly. Oh wow, this is really insightful. So I really picked a lot from what you said, and one thing that really caught my attention is the fact that you actually believed in yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, for you to be behind the mic or in front of the camera, a bit of self-belief is very, very important. And I have to say this: those of us that appear in front of the camera or behind the mic, we are like actors.
Yes,
I have to put it out there. I mean, there's no beating about the bush. You are an actor. People will believe you if they can perceive some level of authenticity. If I'm reading the news and I cannot convince the next person in their room that this is what I'm saying, it will work. If I start the news and I'm all dull, the news, the no, nobody will believe that. But if you are blazing, hello, welcome to the news. The Enugu State government has flagged off the road construction for, it's a different tempo. And it's an industry of vibes and energies.
Exactly.
So what vibe are you giving out? People get attracted to upbeat programs. Go and look at all the shows that are doing well on TV and radio. Yes. There must be some level of liveliness about it.
Yes.
It will be hard for a show that is dull to have traffic, except that show is dashing something.
Giveaway.
Yeah. I don't want to use the word, but you can use it. Dashing people something. Giveaways. That's the new word for it. You just call me and win a recharge card. That's a lazy way to do broadcasting. You have to have a theme what you're discussing. Maybe midway into all that, you can say, okay, for being my 10th caller, you have won this. But I mean, there are programs maybe that are sponsored. The sponsor might have things for you to give. You can give it. But don't dangle the carrot. Yes. That will be the reason why people should call you. Yes. I have to create an essence. When people listen or watch you, what have they learned? Yes. Listen to feedback too. Feedback is very important. There was one time, in the first place I worked, I came to work in the evening, and one of our gate men called me. You are somebody, Ogbodo. I said, yes. Please, I like your voice. But when you're reading the news, please slow down. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, at that time,
I'm a security man.
Yeah. Wow. So there was this radio station that we were competing with. So I really loved their style.
Yeah.
So I would just come and I'll try to show that I can read like that.
Like that.
So, but then our adult listeners, that's not what I used to. So he just told me, Pico, take it easy. And I told him, don't worry, you just listen this evening, you'll see a change. And I went back to the default settings because you see, it's good to be competitive, but don't lose yourself in competition.
Your authenticity.
Yeah. If you are in a competitive environment, that's the way you compete. You will be unrecognizable in the process.
Exactly.
The reason why people follow you will be because they identify you for something. But they have identified you for that thing, but you want to throw away that thing to compete with another person who's been identified for something else. So now you want to be like that person that probably has fewer fans than you do. But you're looking at that person and then you lose your identity and then you lose your fans eventually. So that's where I talked about self-belief. You have to have, there are days it will look like it's not working.
You don't even want to get out of bed.
But those are the days. Those are the days that make a difference.
Exactly.
Those days that it looks like all hopes are lost. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. I always believe that my life is a testimony. My life is a testimony because currently there are very few things. If you are naming journalists around the southeast, and
your name has been mentioned.
I'm not. This is not me blowing my trumpet, but come on. They say if you don't blow a trumpet, it will probably be rusty.
True.
Yeah, but then that's what it is. It's about your legacy. If you go online, you will see what I have done. It's not something that is
your
hidden.
work speaks for you.
That's it. So you should have a legacy. And when people go back to your files, what will they see? If you're a flash in the pan, it will show. If you are prepared, each time you come on air, it will show. Everything now in the age of social media cannot be hidden. Everything you have put out can be located.
True.
So you must be intentional and do your research before you go out with any information.
Oh wow. This is amazing. So, sir, can you, for upcoming journalists, can you give them an advice, like what they need to do, just something for them? Yeah,
find your niche. That's the first thing. There's this craze for everyone to want to either speak on the mic or appear before a camera. Some people don't quite have the vocal talent to be on radio, but they are just bent on coming on air. I've had colleagues who are just bent on coming on air, but I know that they are more suited for content production.
Yes.
Yeah, they should bend down and piece together content for other people. And that's an aspect that people forget. If God has created you to be a catalyst and you want to be something else, you continue to be frustrated until you go back to being a catalyst.
Yes.
John the Baptist was a catalyst.
Exactly.
He was more like someone that came to announce that Jesus will come.
To usher him in.
Yeah, so if he decided to play Jesus, he would have had problems.
Yes.
But he told you clearly that he's not even qualified to strap his sandals. So that tells you that roles are assigned. So the moment you understand that, you also will have to understand that even when you have younger colleagues who have better talents than you currently possess, you must learn how to harness their talents instead of competing. At my age, I can't compete with any of my colleagues. I won't be doing that. I'm now at a legacy level. No matter what's happening, I will be glad that there are people that can relieve duties for me. Like if I need to go to Lagos or go to Abuja for a conference, I should be glad that there are younger ones that can step in and do it. I shouldn't be jealous. Because the truth is, when I started this job, some people were also doing the job before I came on board, but gradually they retired. So, and some of them were very jealous of me. But then it's a human it's a human attribute that we can't completely take away.
Yes.
This feeling of jealousy or whatever it is, it is something that people will overcome with time. People will bully you, especially at the formative stages. They will do all sorts to discourage you from bringing ideas to the table. Do not give up on ideas that are cropping up in you. Put them down, keep suggesting things that can be done if you're not working on your own. The younger ones, before you decide what you do, find out whether you can do it. One thing is to go for a training on how to do something. Another thing is telling yourself the truth that you can actually do this. Because talking, you will need to think as you speak.
Exactly.
So some people are not quite blessed with thinking and speaking at the same time.
Yes.
Some people are monosyllabic with the way they respond. So if you put them on radio, they might be slower than usual.
Exactly.
So somebody will now say they are boring. It's not that they are not smart, but get the same person to do a script for you, and you will love it. Yeah, you'll love it. So if you come into a setting where you have young ones, just try to look at the talents or skill set they possess to know exactly how to help them. It's not enough to lump everyone together and say, okay, go and rehearse this, go and read it. And those that have better voices, you start treating them like they are better. Content is the key thing. Now they are called content creators. So imagine that all the skits you are seeing, that someone did not sit down to ideate them.
Wow.
All the actors you see in front of the camera might not have jobs.
True.
Someone will have to curate it, do a floor plan. If you're going to do it inside a room, I'm sure you've seen the latest skit from Macaroni and Peter, don't you?
Oh, wow.
So the setting, someone planned that setting. Someone planned how Peter Duce will feature on that and all the proverbs he will use. Scripting. Someone will have to script it. So at the end of the day, there are various roles. There are people who man the camera.
So don't look down on anyone.
Don't, because that's actually where there's a problem, because those are the guys that will determine whether you look good or not. After this recording now, if the video editor decides to get back at you for anything you may have done, I'm not saying you've done anything. So it might really be bad. It can just splash something on your left eye during post-production. And then you're asking yourself, what happened to my eye? Was that not how your eye is? I use your eye good before. So, just try to create an atmosphere in your workplace that no one will feel
left out.
Yeah, absolutely. Fairness is important. You have to be fair to everyone. And also be stern. I always preach this. While being stern, you have to also be fair, be human.
Yes.
When it's time to motivate your workforce, motivate them. Don't always tell them what they have done wrong.
Exactly.
Also motivate them. When they have impressed you, say it. You can help them. If they have done something right, great, today was great, you guys did well. The lunch for everybody today.
I think in psychology it's called positive reinforcement.
Come on, you just have to motivate people. Sometimes some people are dying to hear their bosses tell them, you've done well today. And they've never heard it until they resigned. And it will be heartbreaking. Some of them go home crying. But despite everything I've done in this office, my boss will never say, well done.
They don't feel appreciated.
So that can be very, very demoralizing.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much for, honoring our invitation.
Absolutely.
So guys, you've heard it, and I'm right here with Mr. Alex Ogbodo. He's a broadcast journalist. And please stay tuned. I remain your host, God's Gift Chiduku Okafo. And don't forget, this is the Truth Tribe.